As well as multiple Resident Evil games, Leon S. Kennedy has shown up in several titles outside of the survival horror franchise. He's one of 3 Resident Evil characters that can be unlocked in Capcom's 1999 game Trick and Snowboarder, and is also a solo unit in the Capcom, Namco, and Sega crossover game Project X Zone 2. Despite there being plenty of fan demand, Leon has never shown up as a playable character in a Marvel vs Capcom title, although does feature on one of the cards in the Heroes and Heralds mode of Ultimate Marvel vs Capcom 3. Leon was once planned to be a playable character in another crossover fighting game, Tatsunoko vs Capcom, but was cut before the title's final release. Though there is no concrete evidence to confirm it, many believe that Leon was inspired by Jean Reno's character in the 1994 movie Leon, the Professional. As well as the pair sharing a name and a talent for armed combat, they each have a strong connection with the name Matilda. Not only is it the name of the Natalie Portman character who is taken in by the assassin near the beginning of the movie, but also the name of Leon's unlockable weapon in RE4. Leon also has some connections with ancient Greece, with his name being derived from the Latin word Leo, which loosely translates to lion. This is something that the developers of Resident Evil 2 seem to be aware of, as one of the very first puzzles that Leon solves during his debut outing involves a statue of a lion. In Resident Evil 1.5, also known as Biohazard 1.5, Leon's appearance was slightly different to that of Resident Evil 2. Resident Evil 1.5 is a cancelled game that was once going to be Resident Evil 2. Capcom was dissatisfied with the resulting product, so they scrapped the project near the end despite the risks. Moreover, Claire was not present in Resident Evil 1.5. When players were first introduced to the character of Leon, it was surprising to see how much he contrasted with Chris Redfield. While Chris Redfield relies on brute strength and weapon mastery, Leon S. Kennedy is intelligent and uses his wits and the help of friends to solve his way out of situations. In Resident Evil 2, Leon S. Kennedy was a police officer in the Raccoon Police Department. In Resident Evil 4, he became a Secret Service agent who worked for the President. There's no telling what Leon S. Kennedy could be doing in Resident Evil 8. That is if they include characters from previous games. Impersonating a Federal Bureau of Investigation agent is highly illegal, so Ada Wong must have been getting paid a pretty penny for her work as a mercenary. Leon S. Kennedy maintains an uncanny relationship with Ada Wong throughout the series. For him to look the other way on Ada Wong's illegal acts shows that Leon S. Kennedy must have some pretty strong feelings for her. He doesn't even know if her real name is Ada Wong or if she is using an alias, however, so there's clearly quite a bit of room for growth in the pair's relationship. Despite being someone proficient with every weapon and more confident with his skills than veteran police officers, Leon was only a rookie during the events of Resident Evil 2. Whether it's movies or video games, it seems that people just love to root for the underdog. Leon S. Kennedy graduated from the police academy at the top of his class. His remarkably high test scores are what made him an easy pick for the Raccoon City Police Department. Leon S. Kennedy decided to join the RPD after hearing about strange reports of grisly murders in the area. Carrying many of the characteristics of a fine police officer, what Leon S. Kennedy lacked in experience, he more than made up for in knowledge. Since his first day on the job, he has vowed to stop the Umbrella Corporation wherever they appear and has been a constant thorn in the evil organization's side. Following the release of Resident Evil 2 Remake, Capcom set up a website to share stats about the game. One of the most interesting pieces of information provided on the site is that a whopping 79% of players opted to play through the game as Leon first. There have also been almost 20 million playthroughs started with the rookie cop, more than 5 million more than have been begun with Claire. Although many would agree Resident Evil 6 is one of the weakest entries in the Resident Evil franchise, it is worth playing for die-hard fans who want to gather bits of the storyline. In one part of Resident Evil 6, Leon fought Chris to protect Ada Wong. Ada was working for Neo Umbrella, but Leon wanted to protect her anyway. The pair fought in hand-to-hand combat and even drew their firearms on each other at one point. Putting aside who's the bigger badass, it's still a little strange that Leon is willing to break all of the rules for someone whose name he may or may not know, let alone risk his life. Unlike the Resident Evil movies, the game featured Leon S. Kennedy more than once. It would seem like a no-brainer to feature Leon, most people's favorite character, but the studio behind the Resident Evil movie franchise squandered its potential. Notably, the voice actor behind Leon S. Kennedy has changed in every video game. Even the Resident Evil 2 voice actor is different from the one in Resident Evil 2 Remake. Voice actors like Paul Haddad, Paul Mercier, Christian Lanz, Matthew Mercer, and Nick Apostolides have voiced Leon S. Kennedy. When Leon Kennedy started working in the Raccoon City Police Department, he was aware that there had been a series of suspicious murders in the area but did not know who or what was behind them. It didn't take too long for him to find out exactly what was going on, however. At first, the Umbrella Corporation created a controlled outbreak that remained largely contained during Resident Evil 2. Later, however, the Umbrella Corporation spreads the virus to other areas of the world, and in Resident Evil 4, Leon encounters the virus again when he travels to a village in Europe to investigate a kidnapping.